not. I don't know why I did not activate the YouTube side of things. Sorry, guys. You guys probably went through the... I already went through the intro and stuff, but, I do want you guys to know that, today's thing, as we're kind of getting ourselves over to the spot to look, do our thing. We got some good topics going on today. Our first one is the big one, the big major one that affects the United States. In a way. Now, I don't want to push anything onto you guys and not tell you guys a lot of what's going on and what's there, but I do also want you guys to know that the single biggest blow to trans rights we've got a couple of things going on. First, we got that one, and then we got, and then we also, whoops, you know what, no, we'll just, what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna do a service recommendation on this. Okay, next rest is in 5 hours, but with the one that we're doing, I think we'll be able to. I think we'll be able to do what we need to do anyway. I had a plan for today. Cargo market. Duh. No, I'm right here. So, thanks, user, for joining the TikTok live. Thank you. anyway, and then we've got the LGBTQ thing going on, some stuff with that. Thanks, Dendia, for joining. But before we do quite get going on anything, I wanted to share with you guys, we got a sponsor. You guys can access the sponsored link through the link tree, through there. It is from Christian Zattori. I don't know how you pronounce it, if I'm pronouncing it right. Great Italian shoes. You guys can get 5% off through that link. And by inputting the code gaming ROHAWK at checkout. And you can get some neat shoes. Yes, they're a little bit more expensive, but I'm pretty sure they're not super expensive. They're not like godly like $1,000. I won't. To be honest, one of those things is I absolutely love that I can share with you guys cool brands and stuff. Love shoes, love sneakers. So anyway. So, and then I'm also kind of watching for weather today as well. I love watching weather though. It's kind of interesting to see this. Wait, what? Oh, am I actually going around in circles? Right. But I will say, it's one of those things, thank you guys for joining the TikTok live, thank you. I will tell you, that we're gonna get into the major one first, this major big huge thing that went on, in the... Okay. And this major thing that went on, for most of you, probably already seen the news, probably already heard about breaking news, but I don't want to come in and start talking about something that I'm not quite, familiar with, but, until I have a little bit more information and stuff, but... There is this thing where I wanted to share that we had in the United States a big, huge we had a big, huge strike that happened in Iran from the United States, kind of got involved involved, which we shouldn't have gotten involved in any way, shape, or form. Which, to be honest, it's one of those things where, so it's one of those things where this whole thing is like, you look at what's going on. It's like Donald Trump said, "Oh, we weren't going to get into any wars. We weren't going to get into any of this. We weren't going to get any of that." It's like you can't trust him anymore. You can't really put a whole bunch of trust on him, because all of those things. Thanks, Debbie White, for joining the TikTok live, and thank you, Sabari, for joining the TikTok live as well. Sorry, Are you serious? So it was kind of like you can't really. Hey Croc, for joining the TikTok live thing. Thank you guys. Thank you. I will say, you, like, normally I don't like getting into a lot of this, but what you guys need to really focus on is focus on listening to varieties of people within this thing, because listening to Donald Trump, like he said that, oh, we weren't going to get into any war, we weren't going to get into anything, we were going to back out, and let me be clear, he also was claiming that we were going to bomb Iran, but it wasn't going to be him, it was going to be Kamala Harris, it was going to be Biden and all this, and it wasn't Biden, it wasn't Kamala Harris, it was Trump. You gotta think about this. When Trump says he's gonna talk about this thing or that thing, or you gotta make sure that you know what you're talking about, know what you're doing, because, gotta know the truth, and gotta dig to the truth. Don't just believe everything that he says, because he, sometimes he will say that he's not gonna do it, but he's actually going to do it. He kind of speaks in that he's going to blame Biden for some of these things, and he blames him a lot of the time, and so you gotta make sure that you know the truth, and not just go out and start posting the facts. Because remember, I had said a thing yesterday that on one of my it's not that one. Yeah, no, I got it right. It's gonna be up here. Really, buddy? That one was dumb. Berstahoven. I gotta see where are we. Which route do we take? Bestoven. No, okay, so we're going to the other one. All right. So, thanks Thomas Ash for joining the TikTok live, and also thank you Shockwave JL for joining as well. Sorry guys, I'm gonna, thanks Mean for joining the TikTok live. Okay. I don't mind. So we'll do this one, and then I'm gonna get off. But you know, when and I wanted to really come in today with this thing as well, is that not all the places was actually fully bombed. There is actually still salvageable material and salvageable things out of this that you know you could have not followed through. There was no credible information on it, and Trump just basically went and bombed anyway. Even his intelligence people, Congress, a lot of people were telling him not to go do this. And yet, so I just want you guys to know that what also happened with this is that you know, it's one of those things where this wasn't something that I like talking about, because it's just not the best thing to talk about. It's not the best thing to so, you know, when you look at news, you gotta make sure, you know, use ground news or use some aggregate like Newsbreak. I use Newsbreak, but it doesn't do the best. And so you gotta think about what you can do and what you can absolutely focus your time on. Make sure that what you do is that if you are distraught with these things, make sure that you know take a day off on this. Take a day or two off. To me, um, I am trying to. I always try to take Sundays where I don't talk about where I don't where I talk about it, but I don't go out and look at news and stuff. But I do a little bit. Um, mostly it's usually like I take a day like Saturday or Saturday kind of thing, or a Sunday. Usually take one of those days. Maybe take another day off. Figure out take a day away from the news. Don't just do it, but make sure that you know if you are in active weather like today, if you're in the North Dakota, Minnesota area, make sure you guys have your apps up to date. Make sure that you have everything there for it, and don't just rely on have a couple weather apps, like have like your local weather station, your local news station app, and then have like a major weather app like the Weather Channel or something, or whatever you feel like you want to use, but make sure you have at least your local, because your local's going to tell you a little bit better. You're going to send out the information right there for you, a lot easier than So it's one of those things where thanks for Loops for joining the TikTok live. One of those cereals that I don't like much eating cereal anymore, but it was one of my favorites back in the day. I don't eat cereal much. I stopped eating cereal. I pretty much now eat ramen for lunch, unless it's leftovers from last night's supper. And usually mostly it's pasta. It's mostly occasionally I'll eat a variety of like a burger or chicken or eat something other than pasta all the time. But where are we headed? I want to make sure because I'm not going to be on for too long today though, because I need to take some time. If it's 5 o'clock, 5:30, I'm getting off, no matter what. Because my time I'm supposed to be on from 3 to 5, and I did 5:30, and I didn't get 3 to 5. I didn't get on at 3. Yeah, I have a hard time just seeing in the back, but no. Yeah, it's hard to see when you have a darker vehicles. This is why I don't like dark. Because the darker the vehicle, the worse it becomes at night. And this is why I always Salvador Murray Mendo. Thanks for joining the TikTok live. Thank you. Remember, guys, if you guys are watching here on YouTube, TikTok, Trovo, remember to hit that follow, hit that subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Are we gonna not get to load in? Yeah. It's just one of those things today where you got to make sure you take your news and you got to, like, if you are if an avid Fox News watcher, make sure you don't listen to Fox News all the time. Make sure you listen to both sides. If you're an avid MSNBC, make sure you listen to a little bit of, make sure you read like a few articles, or occasionally read something from like Fox News and other Um, yeah. Thanks, Banana Granola. The TikTok live thing, thank you. Hold on. As I am gonna check a thing real quick. But anyway, I know it's one of those things where come on, speeding a little bit. I am doing one run of this, and then I will going to play some Magic though, a little bit of Magic today too. Because to be honest, I'm gonna do this and I'll just play a little bit of Magic for a little bit myself on my own, mostly, because, well, no, we'll play some Magic after this one, maybe. I might continue. We'll see what we get from over here. We'll see if we get anything from down here. Okay. Not anything going back that way. That's going to Lilyhammer up there. Empty pallets. I think we'll... Yep, we're right here on the pallet. Let's go. Oh. Yeah, I am no way, shape, or form a thanks invisible hack. Thank you for joining the TikTok live thing. Thank you. Alright. Yeah, it's just... Sorry, I'm... Sometimes I get my mind blank because I'm trying to pay attention to what's to our local area right now for weather. Again. But you know, the one thing I do wanted you to know that when this came out, there was saying that they were gonna have drones coming out here to the United States. There's still a potential for it from Iran, but it's not official. We haven't heard anything that if anything does happen. The most with this thing, that most likely the Iran's going to most likely hit the bases over there, not here. But they are on high alert for it in eastern the eastern side of the United States are on alert. Not the western, eastern, are likely on this trajectory of this if anything does happen. Which if it does, it's sad to see things escalate this way. It's sad to see that we might potentially be officially going to war because of stupid idiot Trump. You know, it's just sad to see that, you know, this thing, you know, this last couple of days have been really extravagant. These last couple of days, because not only did that happen, that happened yesterday. Thanks to Latin. Not only that happened yesterday, but Friday. We had a lot of major storms, and enough so that 3 people died. In all of this, so it's really struggled. It's struggled for some people, and you know, people not having power, people not having access to a lot of things going on. It's a challenge. It's one of those things where, you know, and so we gotta just be more careful on things that we do. Make sure that you're weather aware, to be honest. Not only weather aware, but also making sure that, you know, doesn't matter where you're at, making sure that you get the right news, like, you know, always have your local news if you have it, but, you know, having Midas Touch in your pocketbook, having Brian Tyler Cohen, having MSNBC, having a few, like, I don't listen to MSNBC just to listen to MSNBC. I have it in the back burner as a place to where I get some news, because I want to hear what mainstream media is talking about, but I mainly go with Midas, Tennessee Brando, David Pakman, The Ring of Fire, Fair and Balance, are the things that I tend to listen to a lot for my news. And so, you know, yes, I might have a left-leaning, but let me also be clear with you. I would mainly listen to CBS, mainly listen to CNN. I don't listen to those much anymore. I listen to Midas Touch with CBS as a back burner for it, because as a second backup, but only because I want to know what they're kind of speaking about, what's going on in the nation. Because sometimes you might not get all of your information from, you know, you're not going to get everything, because there's so much information out there. This is why when you want to know something, this is why you should probably have you guys got to make sure that you guys have a variety of places to listen to listen to, because you can't just listen to one place, because if you do, okay, so we are going to take the longer one. Okay. Now I found a discovery in a recruitment agency. So, Ring Scory Delio, thanks for joining. Okay, I'm gonna do that because it makes it a little bit easier for me to see you guys. What? That guy knew I was coming. Why did he turn in front? That just does not make any sense. That's why you guys are hearing a lot of that, is because I was just checking my local area. Come on. Thanks, Janie, for joining the TikTok live. Thank you. We'll finish this one up, and then I will get off for the day. But I will tell you, I will not be putting one in Poland, though. Um, it'll be the only time I won't put anything into anything. Let's go to services. Nothing in the bank. Let's go to driver manager. No. Let's go to garage manager. Okay, yeah, so we got this one in Valeda. So it's that Iveco S-Way. So what I'm going to try to do is work my way that way, back down that way. So we're going to try to go downward. Try not to backtrack as much as I can. So we will see how things go, because once we get this truck will be put away. This Iveco, not the Iveco, but we'll put the S-Way up on the pedestal next. When we get down to that point. Thanks Elon Reeves for joining. Thanks Elon Reeves for joining the TikTok live. Thank you. So it's one of those things where, you know, I'm not having the So it's kind of one of those things where the more that you look at this, it's like Trump did this without congressional approval. He did it like, yeah, there's been times where where the president has done it without congressional approval, but this one's grossly done out of proportion. You know, when basically even his own people came out and said no. No. And when you look at your congressional approval on these things, it's like if come on in. When you look at the Congress and you say, okay, Congress came out and said, no, you're not going to do this. If you do this, pretty much march to the green. And a few others basically said, no, you're not going to do this. I'm pretty sure that now that if he's done this, I just hope that these people that basically want this big beautiful bill, that he wants this big beautiful bill, that they just shut this thing down. That they basically said, we're not gonna capitulate with this big beautiful bill. We're gonna basically vote against this big beautiful bill and make sure that Because it hasn't passed yet, guys. I've been paying attention to the legal scan and paying attention to the to the Congress itself. They haven't passed this thing. So if they if they go in and not pass this, would be fantastic. Because if I would have gone forward, I would have not been able to make it, so... But it's one of those things where you gotta think about what goes on and what you do with a lot of what's going on. You know, it's fantastic that we do get the news, that we do get these things, but you gotta think about, you know, especially if you look at Donald Trump, don't look at him as things that he's going to do, he's actually going to do. Sometimes he will come out and say, you know, you look at Trump and you look at, sometimes he will say that, oh, it's next to nothing, nothing's gonna be an issue. This issue, well, there's this big issue with that, because if you really look at him, you can't just believe everything that one thing that he says, and the next thing he's gonna say something different. You know, he goes out and he says he's not gonna be a war president, but he becomes a war president. You can't go out there and believe that he says he's not going to be a war president, he's not going to be this, he's not going to be... No, I'm going to call services. Cause Statengard. I might call services and see where we're gonna end up with it, because my vehicle just got hit again. Alright. Thanks. Omicron 237. Thank you. Alright, this is gonna be it for me for today though. But before we do, gonna be it for driving. We're gonna Noah Gord. Yeah, we have to get this vehicle repaired. Alright. So now we have $310 on that. Other community trans radio UK. Okay. My fleet configuration. We're gonna go to over and put one in Valeta. Down there. We will have one truck not being used for a good reason. Who knows? Failures not over here. Okay. Don't have any trailers there yet. We will work on getting trailers there, but we're gonna work on this one later. But I'm gonna leave it there for today. Remember, guys. Remember today's sponsor is Christian Zatori. If you guys want, you guys can go and to the link tree and click on the first link that pops up. You guys can access cute Italian shoes. You can get 5% off if you use code Gaming Matty Rocks. Check out. So, but you gotta use that link. So anyway, I haven't found if they do support LGBTQ or not. If they do, then then I will tell you, then we'll go to good. So, anyway, we will catch you guys, later. Make sure you guys hit that follow, subscribe, wherever you guys are watching. We'll see you guys later. And remember, following, subscribing is free. If you're subscribing on TikTok, I mean, Trovo, it's not, but if you're subscribed on YouTube, it is. Becoming a member on YouTube is not. So if you're really confused about where I say that, you guys know the drill to do these things. But make sure you guys also, if you enjoy, hit that like. Anyway.